Hi, my blossoms. Welcome back to my channel and our page. Just a messenger 828. Authentically me, authentically you. We forever bloom. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this because I've been putting it off for so long. Um, you're gonna hear me spitting. I'm sorry in advance. It is what it is. So, this has been like going on for like a week or so ago. Not like a week or two. Um, so like once or twice a year, I always go back and watch Melanie Martinez K through 12, the film. I always do it. Okay. If you have not watched Melanie Martinez K through 12, the film, you should definitely watch it. And if you're interested, it is a musical film. So the music that's playing, that's her. That's her. Um, and it's based off her album K through 12. And she pretty much talks about her how the experience of kindergarten through 12th grade, what happens by society, right? Like the peer pressure of it all, the society standard that is programmed in you from K through 12, and the different many things and adversities that people deal with while going through that, which we've all experienced in some way, shape, or form. Either we've experienced it ourselves or someone that we know has experienced it. Okay. So I was watching that, and by this time of me watching it, the David Celeste um, case is going on, has gone on. Her body had already been discovered in the Tesla and everything. His tour already stopped and everything. As I was saying, excuse my child in the background. Um, so the part that I got to was as much times as I watched this movie, okay, I never knew this was the character's name. So it was after what the principal. No, 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 no. Never signed up for your drama, up for your drama, up for your drama club. It was that one. Um, it was after Never Signed Up for Your Drama Club, and the principal. Okay. Uh, so the scene is they literally got done burying the principal, and they call for their friend, and her name is Celeste. And I never knew that the girl's name was Celeste. As much time as I watched it, and it stood out, I was like, "What? Okay, so like." Immediately, I got. They could have buried some of her body parts that were missing. And I honestly think they do that on purpose to make sure that uh like the spirit isn't intact or something. It's something to do. It's something to do with some type of assurance that her spirit, yeah, something like that. like to entrap her to a certain place or something like that. Okay, that's about as much as I'm getting with that. But it instantly stood out for me. I immediately stopped watching right there. I was like, dang. Okay. And when the news first broke out, I believe everyone did their deep dive on YouTube and or TikTok, and I definitely did. And like for some reason, when I know she's connecting with me, I hear the unreleased song that he did, and it's it sucks because the song is really good, but you when you come to understand as to why he did it, right, it was just to string her along, like to make her stay. And unfortunately that was the purpose of it, but it was a lovely song. But I literally hear, oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. That's what I hear when she's starting to come in. So that's the only song I hear when she's starting to come in. So I think that's the only song she really favored by him. uh, she was quite flattered by that song. But after that, I had to get off YouTube, and I had to watch Tubi. So I found a show on Tubi, which is really good. I'm still watching it, but I definitely watched all of the first season. So if you're interested in the show, it's called Wicked City and it's on Tubi. Tubi is free, love. So if you're interested in watching that, it's free. It's for the free scheme. Check it out. But this show is based in Atlanta. Okay, it's based in Atlanta, and it is about witches. The company made in Georgia. They made it, but it's actually really good. I've been hooked on it. Uh, in the show, not to spoil too much, there's a character called the Handler. Now, if you picking up what I'm putting down, a handler is someone that keeps someone in line, right? In the show, the handler pretty much enslaved witches, people like males and females, witches and warlocks with powers. He enslaved them. They ran a club. He will also auction off, um, like it wasn't just witches, but it was like magical creatures. He will auction them off to the highest bidder. In the show, they went to Paris, and in that specific episode, they were auctioning off uh, a siren or mermaid, one of the two. Can't remember, siren or mermaid, but aquatic being. And this is just some of the things that actually go on, right? Like people have handlers, and the way that the handler would control or make sure all of the people were under his control is they would have literally a collar. They would literally have a caller, and the caller is not seen by the normal eyes. It's you see the caller with your spiritual sight. So his energy is tethered to each caller, like, and he controls them from that. So a handler is someone that keeps someone in line, literally on a ball and chain or collar, and they control them, keep them in a certain bounds of control. So with all of that coming about, I was watching Elect of the Living God, and I think it was Divine Feminine reading about a week or two ago, and he has mediumship abilities, and Celeste came through, and I was like, it was on the same day that I actually watched was watching K through 12 and heard her name in the movie, and it pinged. So literally that same day, a few hours later, I'm watching a reading, and he is communing with her spirit, saying, "I got you, baby girl. Like, but first, let me just, like, he's he's one of the ones that's he's busy." And literally in the reading, he's saying there's a divine feminine that might be, and then I'm just like, "Well, is it me?" And so I start communing with her. Then I'm like, "Okay, you already been pinging me today. What's up?" And we start talking, and I know one of the things, and she wants me to say this. She wants her parts found, right? I like, once again, like, I feel like it's because something is being done spiritually, right? To bind her or do something, or like I heard a feeding source, so he's still feeding off of her energy. Like a memento. Oh my god. Anyway, sorry. She wants her parts found. Okay, she wants to be made whole, as everyone should. All right, that's first thing. Second thing, we were talking. I was just talking about my family dynamic and what was going on at the time in my household. I'm talking to her about it, and like she's like, I want you to do it because you understand. So for me, that's a confirmation her family dynamic was not the best either. She was a divine feminine energy. Now, because it will happen, we will get a full story of her life, and it's not all going to be rainbows and sunshine. It's not. Being a divine feminine does not mean that. Being a divine feminine is realizing where you were at the time is very dark. What you were surrounded by in your environment at the time was very dark. And as everyone is a product of their environment, you adopted some of those toxic traits and habits, and you had to learn to overcome them. Whether it's emotional, whether it's substance, whether it's physical, whether it's mental. She was going through a tough dynamic with her mom, and I honestly think her mom was jealous of her because of how beautiful she was. Her light, how her light showed, and It's weird behavior, but a lot of mothers do end up being jealous of their daughters. I'm not sure as to why. Excuse me. Hold on, y'all. Please do excuse me, sir, and ma'ams. It may be a few parts to this. I'm not gonna lie, but I just want to be able to get all of it out, right? The first parts might just be talking parts, and eventually I'll get to cards. Okay, so please bear with me. I think it is a mental condition that some women develop once they have a daughter, because it's like, this is a part of me that is a newer, better version. And like, you have a chance to um, instill in them the things that you did not know and that you had to learn, and you instilled that in them at a young age, and you can make them a better version. But some parents, some mothers get jealous, and so they sabotage their daughters. In a sense, they don't give them everything that they need because they want to be the better version. And it's like, you're not about legacy building at that point. You're selfish, because a part of being a parent is to make your child a better version of you. Now, sorry for the pausing. So she had a family dynamic that was tumultuous. One where she wanted to leave the house. She wanted to get out of there. She wanted to emancipate herself. You know what I'm saying? This is based off of like some of the research I did, with speculation, but I can confirm with her. So she she wasn't like pimped out, but she had like certain clients that she would see, and this was like something that her family did. Probably one of the many reasons she wanted to leave. And there's a multitude of ways that um, children in America deal with this and have to deal with this, right? I want it to be made known that having secret mics and cameras in your children's room, so them getting undressed or them exploring their bodies, being adolescents or being pre-adolescents or being grown as adults, because it even happens into adulthood, right? Because if they start at a young age, there's clientele that want to keep watching this person live their life, like Big Brother style. Half of these, if not all of these people, are perverted in some type of way, and they upload this footage, or it's just boomed right onto something similar to the dark web, or something even darker than the dark web. Okay, I'm not the first reader to say this. I'm not the first person to speak out about this. So by all means, all right, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just one of many that's going to be telling the truth. Amen. This is one of the many things that will be being exposed with all of the Epstein's information, which is why this information is being held back for so long. It's been like a year since, you know what I'm saying? And in 2020 was when the list appeared. So it's been like 5 years already, y'all. It's like they're trying to come out with a rollout date so that people's minds don't break because they have to tell the truth. They have to shame the devil. And unfortunately, we're going to see how much of the devil has been around us. The movie Us is significant because this goes deep, y'all. This goes deep. But what she went through is just the tip of the surface. It's what she went through is one of the many things that a lot of divine feminine energies go through. Um, a lot of us don't. A lot of us that still here, right? We we answered God's call. We didn't play with God's call, right? Um, and so God has us here on purpose for a purpose. And it's like you have personal trials that you go through. God tests you to see where you are, your mental fortitude, your spiritual fortitude, your faith, how, you know what I'm saying? Your trust in the process, his plan. Not to say Celeste herself didn't have that, right? Judging by some of the what inserts that was in some of David's albums, her talking about this the string thing, what is it called, the streamline theory or certain theories like that. She was aware. She was a self thinker. She did not put up with ish. You can tell when she was on Twitch and they had that Twitch live stream that had to get cut. You know, even when he was like, "Oh, you did media training," I honestly think she was just like, I'm gonna say the truth. Fuck, I don't care if I had media training or not." And boom, right there, handler style, they had to handle it. This is one of the many same ways that a lot of divine feminine energies that are in star power or close to star powers, uh, it's just one of many ways that they end up transitioning. Case in point, Aaliyah. I am not gonna lie. Literally, when I was watching the divine feminine reading, from Elect of the Living God. And every time I kept hearing Celeste's name, and every time she kept talking to me, I kept seeing, um, hold on. I kept seeing Divine Feminine card, and I kept seeing Aaliyah. It's very significant as to how Aaliyah, how she grew up in the industry. It's like they target very vulnerable women or vulnerable situations, which I honestly think Aaliyah was in a vulnerable situation because she wanted to break out into stardom. She did Star Search. I feel like after that, she probably had people that wanted to, you know, make her or be a client. And not to say any of this, but I feel like her parents decided to, yeah, go ahead. This will help you get in the doors. Whether they knew it or not, in a manner. But you hear Dame Dash's interview speaking about Aaliyah and how she literally loved that man because he wasn't trying to immediately be after her and get in her pants. Like he was like, whenever you're ready. And she loved him for that because honestly, when a female hasn't had that choice to be like, I can give it to you whenever I'm ready, versus men hounding her for it. Um she dealt with R. Kelly in her journey before she met Dane. Even with the R. Kelly situation, it was like, she had to be emancipated in order to get married to that man because they were technically, it's a little iffy on that, but I think they were technically married or something like that. So it's like modern day, which I spoke about this briefly when I talked about the predators and how they gonna be crashing out when they get caught. How females as young as 9, 10, 11, like by the time they could have a period, they were either sold off, literally auctioned off to the highest bidder. Uh, they normally do family. Well, we know your family is established and all of that. Yeah. hmm It still goes on today, and a lot of us. I don't say us because I'm included. I'm included. A lot of us have had clients that were older in age, real old, and that have transitioned. And before they transitioned, God had talks with them, and they're like, it was wrong. It was wrong. So guilt I'm going to leave a good portion of my proceeds to them. So whoever your parental unit is or guardian, right, in any way, shape, or form, they've been trying to get at that money. But that money's for you because of the eyes that's been on you and the ears that's been on you and the mouths that's been on you your whole entire life, and you didn't even know about it, unaware of it until you became aware of it. And unfortunately, the ones that had physical interaction with their clients, like Celeste, they they handled it. Physical interaction, like Aaliyah, they handled it. Really, that one, they wanted the physical interaction, but never really got it like that, and was mad that they never really got it like that because Aaliyah held a very, very potent divine feminine energy. She was just a goddess floating in the room. She didn't have to speak like that. You know what I'm saying? And when she spoke, it was so it was not no bass in her voice. For what? She's a feminine energy. Everyone hushed because they wanted to hear what she had to say. No matter how soft she spoke, something to do with people that are soft spoken. They think because you're soft spoken, you don't. Huh. It is literally proven that, if someone is literally coming in hard, 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 and if someone comes in and they're delicate, they're speaking, people are gonna quiet so they can hear what they gotta say. The decimal difference, right? So automatically, it's like, oh, what did you say? Say that again. Come again. Stories and many their stories, both Celeste and Aaliyah's stories will be heard. Okay, something about trying to silence somebody, trying to make someone's voice as obsolete as possible, make it soft and so they don't have to say it loud. Oh, don't mic them up, turn their mic off, like things like that. Somebody's trying to like send that as I'm literally speaking right now, but I rebuke that in the name of Jesus because this is what God told me to do. And you have a problem with it, you're gonna have to speak to him directly. Go to his quarters. He's there waiting for you with arms wide open. I heard you had a complaint about my child. Well, I'll tell you everything when arms wide open. Welcome to this place. I'll show you everything with arms wide open. Creed is significant. Like somebody could have. There's a certain creed. A creed is like it's like a kind of like a family crest or like a family mission statement. A creed. So, there's a certain creed out there, but like a creed can also be a spell, y'all. If you know, you know. It could be a spell. I also get creed and declare with arms wide open. Yeah, God has creed and declared certain people to speak the truth that He wants to be spoken in the divine timing that it needs to be spoken in. So people that go against people, that are speaking the truth that God wants to be spoken. And you don't necessarily agree with what's being spoken about, or you're afraid because you're a part of the fuck shit that's being spoken about. Whoop de doo. You need to go and talk to the main boss about it. Like, this is like final boss fight. And you need to go in there and handle business if you got a problem. Don't talk to me. Go talk to him. Talk to God. That'd be half y'all problem. Y'all don't talk to God enough. He would have told you what it was. He would have told you what it was before you got into it. Before you got into this mess. Oh, how did I ever get into this mess? Somebody is saying to themselves multiple times over and over again. People are having panic attacks. People are trying to OD and they can't unalive themselves. He won't let them. Nah, buddy. This is how you go out. You go out with the shame. You go out with the shame. The shame of what you participated in, the shame of what you've done, the shame of what you allowed. The shame of not having a backbone, the shame of not speaking up. I should have said, I should have did, and should have, would have, could have landed you in a place where you can't get out. See, they've been trying to bind divine feminine energies for the longest to feed off of them. This goes into literally vampiric energies because they can't fly close to the sun. They cannot commune with God anymore. They they sacrifice their relationship with God to have immortal life here on this plane. So that means they're going to have to endure everything that happens here on this plane, even the exposing of their wrongdoings. I was just watching a reading today, Intuitive, what's her name? Intuitive Fudge, and I love her too. She was just talking about vampiric energies. I have a reading that I just finished posting all of the reading on TikTok where I talked about vampiric energies and how they're going to have to, yeah, you're gonna have to endure what you did. Accountability. Because whether it happens here or you get to them pearly gates, you're gonna have to take accountability for every part of your life. Every part of your life. Even the parts that you wanna hide, the parts that you don't want to revisit. God gonna make you do that. If you don't want to do that, you're not gonna get entry in. If you don't want to do that in an efficient way either. Like honestly, do it. He's not gonna let you in. I feel like this is the most ultimate test of VIP status. Ooh, you get into the club heaven, club Jesus. You know, all them after parties that people was able to go to, all them clubs and events that people were able to attend. Are you able to get into club heaven? You know? And for those that have done those activities, like God is saying his arms are still wide open for you. I know it sounds like an altar call, but my golly gee, it very well, very real, very much, it very much is and should be. Like every day is an altar call. Every day you have a chance to make it right with God. Do it. Do it. Every day you have a chance to surrender to God and allow him or whatever you believe, right? Universe source, the source of your creation. Hello? Allow the source of your creation to take care of you. Oh, I got anxiety about boop boop boop. Actually no. I know the source of my creation got something planned, so I'm gonna wait on him. I'm gonna wait on her. Whatever you believe, right? Whatever is blissful, right? Whatever is heaven for you. This was supposed to be about Celeste, but it's more about divine feminine energy and how divine feminine energies heal and how we're able to not only heal those that are here on this side, we're able to heal the ones that have transitioned. We're able to commune with them. We're able to get their messages across. I think that Celeste has been healing as she's been, you know, transition, but also communing with various messengers, whether they're in divine feminine energy or divine masculine energy. I think she's found a sense of community that she's been always looking for, because she always felt like no one understood her story and that she was alone. And I think that she wants that to be the message for a lot of divine feminine energy, or just feminine energies in general. Don't ever feel like you're alone to the point where you just trust anybody. Ooh. She said trust your intuition and trust in God first before anybody. Not even your parents. Not even my man. Like, that's your man. No, don't even trust him before God. Or my woman, my woman, my woman. Don't even trust her before God, because they can always lead you down a path of destruction. She's learned a lot. I'm so proud of you for growing, and it's like you don't never stop growing, y'all. You don't never stop growing. A max, there's never a max in growth. God has there's so much infinite that God has, or the universe, the source has literally created, and there's so much that you can create within that infinite space. There's always room for growth. And to understand that no one's perfect. So having the title of a divine feminine or a prophetess and all of that does not mean that you're sitting here and you're holier than thou. No. There's a lot of people that are prophetess. There's a lot of people that are divine feminine, divine masculine energy. There's a lot of people that are messengers and they curse like sellers. But it doesn't make their words less valid. It doesn't make their message less valid. If anything, actually shows they're a little bit more passionate about it. You know what I'm saying? They're a little bit more invested. That's the word. They're a little bit more invested. Their feelings get invested into it. So the very messengers that be cursing up a storm, you know what I'm saying, with a reason though. You know what I'm saying? Not just cursing for no reason. Like, if the conversation gets heated and they're talking about a subject that, like, I'm sorry, but I'm disgusted by it. It's BS. You just come to understand that we're all human and that we're all growing, and even the messengers have room to grow. All right, y'all. I think about that's all the time I have for this one. If you guys would like that part two, it's probably gonna be another talking part, and probably gonna get some more messages from her to see what else she wants to talk about. But to recap, for sure, she wants, and I think it might her. I think her. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all don't see my snot and chips. I'm gonna keep it in there. So if you grossed out, my bad. Warning. But I'm showing y'all. I'm going through something right now. Amen. Um. Yeah, but it's to show that the her body parts will be either found soon, or she is making some things shake or move so they can be found, so she can be whole. um and I feel like once that happens, the full story is going to be able to come together. So it's something to do with the body parts that's missing. And also her story kind of gives the Black Dahlia. And I, if you guys like homework like this, but I'm probably gonna go back and watch American Horror Story, because they did do the story of the Black Dahlia and how that came about. Yes, I'm so glad I said that. So boom, in American Horror Story, the house that from the first season was the house that it used to be. The house used to be owned by a cosmetic doctor or something like that, or a dentist. That's what he was, a dentist, and he ended up, doing what he did to create the Black Dahlia in that house. But ever since her unaliving there, and he made sure her parts were out of that yard, because he knew something about the house, and that if he buried her parts there, that her spirit will. So something to do with that. It's something to do with that. But I'm gonna end this here. If you're interested in a personal reading, my email is in the description box, or it will be on my page. If you're on TikTok, feel free to message me also. Um, Even if you're just wanting to message me, but email me, and it's there for you. Um, Please like, share, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell when you do subscribe and or follow, so you know next time I upload. And I love you guys. Peace.